Hey guys, what's up? It's Lina here with another review for Casey Undercover. Now, I haven't talked to you guys in a while about Casey Undercover because Casey Undercover, this is the first time it came on since 2 weeks ago on February 15th of the last episode came on, and I want to give you guys an explanation. So after the last episode came on, and 2 weeks ago, well, one reason I think they didn't play it was because the Oscars was on or something. The Oscars was on, so that's why they didn't play. That's why that didn't get played or nothing, because the Oscars was on and it wasn't gonna get as much view as the Oscars. And I don't know why the other reason was they didn't get played. I don't know why. If it was because maybe I don't know. I don't know why. But anyway, I'm back 2 weeks from now, from then, and hello. So let's get started on what happened. So the show starts off with Casey and Marissa, and Marissa is like going, she's like so excited, she's like, ah! And Casey is trying to figure out what Marissa is talking about, because she's always saying stuff, and so she's guessing and guessing. So then Marissa was like, okay, come on, tell me. So then Marissa was like, remember that photo contest I entered in? And Casey was like, yeah. And then she was like, well, they picked 3 finalists, and she's like, are you one of them? And she's like, yeah. So now she's like a finalist in a contest, and she's like, yes. She's like, you're gonna win, you're such a great photographer. And Marissa was like, yeah. And she's like, I sent in your picture. Then Casey was like, what did you do now? And then she was like, Casey was like, I can't take pictures. Every time I take a picture I look like this, which is not true. In there, you're beautiful. But anyway, so then she was like, no, look at this. So then Marissa had an actual picture from Zendaya, the actress's Instagram account, and she's like, whoa, I look amazing. And then then they was like, we gonna win, and we got this, and they're doing this cute little dance, and then they did the opening theme song. I can't sing, but that's a good song. Anyway, so then they did that, and then Casey was talking to her dad about the contest, and then her dad was telling her, you can't have your picture. If Marissa win, you can't have your picture out there because it's gonna be plastered everywhere, and it's gonna be on bus benches and stuff. And she was like, I want to sit. They can be sitting on my face. And then the dad was like, well, you can't have that because remember that last time when you did that mission? And she was like, oh yeah, I did like this, and I was like this, and she's like, yeah. And remember when the guy was like this? So I guess the guy got away. So then he was like, he's still out there. He's like, he might be like, I guess I'm just gonna go on vacation. Then he's still on the bus bench. And like, oh wait, she looked familiar. I was like, oh wait, that's that girl. He's like, I'm gonna call up. He's like, oh wait, I'm gonna call up the photo contest people. Oh wait, who took this picture? Oh wait, that's your best friend. It's like, oh, you live on 35 Melby Lane, huh? It's like, knock knock. And she was like, wait, Casey, I gotta go answer the door because it's the guy. So then she was like, but this Marissa means so much to Marissa, and this is the most beautiful picture I ever taken. And then he was like, well, and she's like, okay, well, I'm not gonna do it. And he was like, well, I just saved your life. And then Casey, he was like, well, I just saved your life. So then Casey's pretty bummed about that. I don't know why Casey couldn't just tell Marissa like a lie and be like, instead of saying saying, oh, I just can't do it. Why didn't Casey just be like, oh, well, my dad won't let me do it or something? That would have made more sense, other than her going all out, acting weird. But anyway, Ernie and the dad was watching figure skating, and Ernie was pretty excited about it. But the mom was coming in with all the dishes was upstairs in his room. It was a lot of dishes. And that was nasty. Anyway, so then she was like, he said Ernie was like, you might want to wash a few cups. I had to get creative. And then he was drinking out of a fish bowl. It was a big old straw, and his dad would just let him do that. That's really nasty. I hope that fish bowl wasn't used. But yeah, so then the mom don't want to keep cleaning up after Craig and Ernie. And Ernie was like, I'm not a machine. She was like, I'm not a machine. And then he was like, yeah, she's not, but you know who is. And he's like, oh, Judy. And then Judy like awoken from the weird treasure chest thingy. Why is she in there? Anyway, so then Judy was like, she came out, and then the dad was like, you can't use her. And he said she's a robot. We don't have any missions. So isn't that a waste of a robot? Then the dad was like, Ernie, I can't believe you finally had a good idea. I was like, that's so sad. It's always that one character that you don't know to have a good idea. That if they have a good idea, like, whoa, you had a good idea. It's always that one character in the TV show that's like that. So anyway, so then Judy was like, what do you want, people? I'm busy. Then it was like, whoa, what crawled up your external drive? Get it? Because she's a robot and like okay, I can get it. But anyway, Judy was like, she's trying to figure out the human experience so she could be a better agent. So Ernie says, I know how you can become a better get more human experience, like do chores. And she was like, what about love, loss, compassion? And Dad was like, what about you start cleaning the toilet? And I was like, ew. What when she do chores, I was thinking, isn't she gonna get like she be drinking and eating, but since she's a robot, doesn't that affect her, like the water and stuff? Is she like gonna malfunction or something? I don't know, but okay. Anyways, Casey talked to Marissa. She was talking to Marissa again, and it was in the cafeteria, and it's a big cafeteria. It looked like they got a lot of food there. But anyway, they're talking about the picture, and then she ruined the photo because she was telling her about how she didn't want the photo up there, and she's like, well, I don't know, it's not that pretty. And she was like, so then Marissa had the photo, and then Casey was like, oh, I'm such a klutz. So she spilled all her spaghetti on the picture, and she's like, let me get that off. So then she was taking everything, rubbing it on there, and she like ruined the photo. She's like, oh, darn it, the photo's messed up. Now you can't use it in the contest. Then Marissa's like, what are you talking about? It's a digital contest. I got the picture on my computer. I can print millions. And then and she was like, oh, that's right. And I was like, yeah, why is she carrying a picture of Casey anyway? But that's her best friend, so anyway. Yeah, but she didn't have to lie to her, because Marissa was like, Casey was like, I would never lie to you. And Marissa was like, of course you wouldn't. You got to just be acting. You just been acting. No, she's like, no, of course you wouldn't. You just been acting a lot of kooky, lady. And it's then like, kooky, me kooky. She's like, I'm not kooky, you're kooky. Then Marissa was like, yeah, I'm the kooky one. And she was like, bye bye. So then Casey was denying everything and was like, I'm not lying and all that. I don't know why she didn't just tell her, oh, my dad and my parents won't let me put my picture everywhere. I mean, that would have been an easier lie, but I guess they just trying to make it difficult. But I don't know. Anyway, so then Casey was telling Ernie she needs him to do something, and her and Ernie went, and they broke into Marissa's room, and they was in there. They went through they got through a window, and then Casey just went right in, but then Ernie tried to do it. He was stuck, so she had to help him get through the window. And this is funny. The actors are really funny. I like how they do that. But so then oh wait, this part was funny. Wait, Ernie was excited because he'd never been in a girl's room before. So Casey saw Ernie in Marissa's underwear drawer, and Ernie was like, Ernie, this is funny. Ernie, I don't think her laptop be in her underwear drawer. And Ernie says, just being thorough. And Casey was like, yeah, thoroughly creepy. I was laughing. I was like, laughing. Because that was funny. And I thought that was like a funny little kitty phrase. I don't know who write these kitty phrases, but they cool. Anyway, so then he did like a weird creepy smile or something. But then Ernie and Casey, they heard Marissa coming, and then Casey's like, fly the coop. And then she shot out the window, which wasn't Zendaya. I think that was a stunt double, because they didn't show her face. And usually when they don't show people's faces, then it's kind of like the stunt double, like, because you know it's not them, but they just trying to make it seem like it was them. But because I saw the back of her outfit was cute though too, but that's not the point. So they heard Marissa was yelling at her mom and saying, you know, we at school we do take off for Katy Perry's birthday. If you loved me, you would have called. So then Marissa walked in, and then Ernie tried to fly out the window like Casey did, but he just rammed his body straight into the wall really hard. I don't know if that was a stunt double or not, but I know that probably hurts. But anyway, you know who Kamil McFadden remind me of? Jaleel White. You know the guy who played Urkel? He remind me of him. That's what he remind me of. But anyway, so then Marissa found him, and he was like, Marissa walked on him and was like, what are you doing in my room? And Ernie pretended, was like, you know, I know you've been sending me mixed signals. He's like, I'm not stupid. Then she's like, you are stupid, and you need to leave. And it's just like, okay. So then he left. So then Ernie and Craig was playing games, and then Judy was cleaning the floor, and she was like, well, cross this human experience off my list, I'm done. So then the mom walked in, and then she was like, so the mom was like, they pretended that they was doing all the work, that they was cleaning. He was like, I made potpourri, and she's like, and the Jew was like, I did that. And then he was like, I cleaned the floor. She's like, I did that. And then the mom was like, oh, well, you guys need a froyo break. And then so they went to go froyo. Then the mom was like, you know, Judy, it wouldn't kill you if you did some cleaning around here. And Judy was like, because she did all the work, but the mom didn't know that. So the mom didn't know that. So then Marissa and Casey, they was talking, and then Marissa know that Marissa knows that they was in her room trying to delete the picture, but she just wanted an explanation of why, and Casey couldn't give her one. So, you know, Marissa got upset and was like, you know, if we gonna be best friends, then you gotta tell me stuff, but if not, we might as well not just be friends at all. You know, and Casey was like all flubbering and stuff, but Casey could have just told her a simple line like, my dad won't let me do it, or my mom won't let me do it. So like, kind of made it a little complicated for your own self, Casey. I don't know what you're doing, but you're not very good spy with deception, so you gotta work on that, Casey. But then anyway, so then Casey and her mom was talking about the fact that Marissa's mad at Casey, and then she was like, I don't know what to do, and she was like, help me. Then the mom was like, well, do what? How? And she's like, we got my best friend, the spy business, and best friend is getting into the way talk. And she's like, can't we just do the birds and the bees talk? It's easier. And I got a book of pictures of it. So then she was like, okay. And she's like, well, one time I had this best friend named Jackie, and she missed I missed her wedding because I had a last minute mission, and that she was always asking why did you miss my wedding? Why did you miss my wedding? And then the case was like, what did you do? And the mom was like, I had to get rid of her. And the kid was like, you killed Jackie? And the Kira was like, no, I deleted her from my contact. She's like, what's wrong with you, Casey? Then Casey was like, life would be so much easier if I could just tell Marissa that she was a spy. So then Casey asked, so what happened to Jackie? Then the mom was like, funny story. It turns out she was an enemy operative working undercover, and I ended up throwing her off of a building. Oh, she was running undercover, posing as my best friend. I ended up throwing her off a building in Rio de Janeiro. And kids was like, Mom. Then Mom was like, yo, she's fine, but I'm still not talking to her. So then it was Operation Slice and Dice. So anyway, it was Operation Slice and Dice. And then the dad was like, oh, let's go. And it's Ernie, Mom, and Judy. Mom and Judy. And Judy said, no, sorry, no, can't do it. And Judy was like, I'm watching Real Boo-Boos of New Jersey. And she like, her boo-boo wasn't invited to the barbecue. It's about to go off in here. And then she was like, what are you doing? And then Judy was like, oh, I'm just learning the human experience of letting somebody else do your work and then loading off on somebody else and not doing nothing. Then she's like, just how they taught me. And then Ernie and the dad was like, and then the mom was like, what did y'all do? And then he was like, and the mom was like, Ernie was like, Mom, it was our dad's idea. He made her do it. And she was like, then he was like, it was his idea. And then she was like, you honestly think I believe that Ernie made up this? And he was like, I know, I didn't believe it either. And then so the dad ended up getting in trouble. So he ended up going on a mission by himself. And then, so it was just him and Casey. So then himself. So then Casey was undercover as a chef in a restaurant, and then the dad was in the van telling her to put a GPS in the target's food while they walk in. And she's like, well, aren't they gonna see the GPS? And he was like, no, not if you put it in the tempura. Everybody will eat anything that's deep fried. And she's like, oh. So then he was like, the targets are coming in. She saw the targets, but then Marissa walked in. And come to find out, this is Marissa's favorite restaurant to go to. Her and Casey will always go to it. It's called Benny Mama's, which is just a knockoff of Benny Hana's. Eating all the wontons. Anyway, yeah, but that's what that is. So because they can't use the real name. But the restaurant, Marissa was talking and Casey was trying not to talk, but she was like kind of responding, but she had like the chef hat over her eyes, so Marissa couldn't tell. And Marissa was just talking, saying, I used to bring my friend Casey here, and she kept talking about Casey and Casey stuff. So then Then the targets are leaving, and dad told her that you have to stop them even if it means you're blowing your cover. So Casey then goes, and then she grabbed the girl's neck with tongs. The girl slapped the hand away. Then she hit the girl in the face, the target, the enemy in the face with tongs really hard. I thought she got knocked out or something. I was like, isn't this supposed to be like a Disney show? They knocking out people with tongs? I'm like, what? Then she threw a glass ceramic bowl into the guy's stomach and it broke. I'm like, dang. But then they started fighting for real, because then they got some swords, and then they started fighting. Then Marissa thought it was a floor show, and she's like, oh yeah, it's a good floor show. But then Casey's mustache came off and her hat came off, and she's like, Casey? And she's like, now I know why you wasn't being so secretive, because you was stressing about your job at pretending as a male chef. And she was like, we need to talk. So then Casey was telling Marissa that she and her family was spies, and then Marissa was like, I can't believe this. And she's like, what, that I'm a teenager that's a spy? And she's like, no, that's your parents are. And she's like, they're so dull. And I was like, ooh. And she was like, what? They was like, dull. So then Marissa and Casey was like, Casey was like, I'm gonna have to do this. He's like, I know, and you're gonna forget that, why I didn't want you to enter in a contest or nothing. And she's like, but I will always love you. And she was like, I know you're always gonna be mad at me, but I'm gonna always love you. Then Marissa was like, well, I will always love you too, even though I don't love you. Don't know that I love you. I will always love you. So then they hug and stuff. So then she got the spray. So then her parents was like, oh, this is so sad. So then Casey sprayed her with something. I already knew this wasn't real. I already knew the spray wasn't real, because the way Marissa fell out. So then the parents was like, okay. So then Casey was like, Marissa, and she's like, they fell for it. And then Marissa was like, what kind of spies are they? And she was like, and it was all happy and stuff. So then Casey shouldn't have done that, because this is not good, because she could be like a secret undercover spy or something. The parents are eventually gonna find out somehow. But anyway, what happened? Oh, then on the ending, it was Judy and the mom, Karen, and they was getting like pampered and stuff. And then Kiera had Craig make burgers on a grill that he had to clean for 3 whole hours, because 2 years ago he forgot to clean it after they could grill salmon, because he didn't feel like cleaning it. So then now it's 2 years later, he had to clean it. He was taking 3 hours to clean it, which that's the amount of time it takes just to clean a grill. But anyway, so he was like, here's your hamburgers. And she was like, did I say hamburgers? I meant salmon. And he was like, we don't have salmon. She's like, you got 2 legs and a debit card, don't you? So then now they pampering them to make up for the reason why they had Judy doing the work. But Judy is a robot, so I don't know why they can do that. Well, I don't know why Judy don't do that stuff either. Why the heck was it working? Anyway, so that was the end of the episode, guys. Yeah, it wasn't on for 2 whole weeks. I know one, because the Oscars was on, and if her ratings probably go down, but I can't think of the other reason why. I don't know what else came on, but something else came on. But that's probably why, why I stuck with that. So, because when it came on, let me check for some on my phone. Because the last episode was, yeah, but on the next episode, what? Casey is gonna like lose her swag or something. And like it was showing on the trailer, on the preview was showing like this guy was like, you gonna play like a girl? And she's like, yeah, I'm gonna play like a girl. And it's like, yeah, get it, girl. So yeah, but at the end of the episode, you hear on the productions like, Rob, your name's on TV. That's how I go, because Rob Lottestein Productions, that's the guy who produced the show, that's producer. But I'm gonna see why, because the last episode that came on was yeah, the last episode that came on was so yeah, but yeah, we haven't seen it in 2 weeks. But that was a review, guys. Like, share, subscribe, and comment. Send to everybody from the Casey Undercover crew and cast members in this box right here on the side of me. This box right here. Like, share, and comment and whatnot. And follow me on Twitter. It's over my head. Boop. And that's pretty much it. So I think I'm you know, what is it? Subtract myself from this equation. Yeah, peace out, my scouts.